How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Blackrock says institutional adoption of DeFi is not likely to happen soon. They said that they are highly optimistic about crypto adoption, mainly because of their ETF, but they say DeFi is likely to take some years. They'd say it's mostly because of the regulation that is in their industry, and they say that maybe third parties like Coinbase could play a role in helping them kind of get that regulation, but we'll have to see what happens. So they already have their eyes on their competitor. Binance US restores USD withdrawals, suggests users withdraw or spend their dollars. They say that their USD systems are fully operational currently, but they said that it's likely that it'll be discontinued at some time. They say they are going to look for continued support for USD, but it may be kind of hard, especially with the SEC lawsuit. They say to withdraw or convert your USD fiat balances to stablecoins, or to buy some other crypto with them, and then continue using crypto-to-crypto trading, because that is what the platform is going to. Binance said it'll expand trading offerings with the dollar-pegged stablecoins USDT. Later, after June 26th, that was when the USD will be removed, and then afterwards, the only USD trading pairs that will be available is BTC, ETH, ADA, BNB, LTC, MATIC, SOL, VET, USDC, and USDT. So you won't have USD, you'll have stablecoins and other kinds of coins, which are top coins. Few French banks have acquired crypto custody licensing, so this is a good thing to see. However, this may be one of the only ones we see. The CACEIS Bank is a combined service of Credit Agricole and Santander. Sorry if I botched, I probably did. But these two French crypto custody groups are getting a license together. The AMF approved this. This means that the banks will now be able to register as a digital asset provider, and they'll be able to store digital currency for their users, so they'll be able to hold your crypto. They did a bunch of checks, which is the competence of the managers and the beneficial owners of the whole group. They check that they are following the AML laws and anti-terrorist financing rules, so they have met several checks, and this is just before MiCA is being rolled out in the region, which is going to make it stricter and harder for other people to get in. Spain gives Crypto.com green light to set up shop. So Crypto.com has also gotten a VASP license in this region from the Bank of Spain. The approval means that the Singapore-based platform will be able to offer their products to anyone in Spain. This is good because it's further expansion and more people can get into crypto with more different exchanges. Spain's central bank decides which platforms can legally trade digital assets in the country, and the country has to comply with the MiCA as well as France. So they had to have those harsher regulations that'll become law next year. So it'll be harder for other people, and they'll have to jump through more hoops than Crypto.com did. Binance prohibited the operating in Belgium effective immediately. So Binance is not going to be able to operate in Belgium. The accusations are pretty similar to here in the US. Belgium's Financial Services and Market Authority has ordered Binance to cease all operations in the country immediately. They assert that Binance has been providing exchange services between digital and fiat currencies, in addition to custody wallet services from countries outside of the EEA, which violates the laws in Belgium. They say Binance does not dispute that it offers services in Belgium. However, the entities delivering these services are largely accounted for, with 19 of the 27 companies involved being outside the EEA. So a majority of the companies are outside, only 8 are within. Additionally, the FSMA has demanded that Binance immediately initiate steps to return all keys and digital currencies held on behalf of their clients, or transfer these assets to another entity within the EEA that is authorized to conduct its crypto and custodial activities. SEC approves first leveraged Bitcoin futures ETF. So kind of deceiving title there. It's the first like 2x one. There was a different leverage one. The US SEC has approved the first leveraged Bitcoin futures exchange ETF on Friday. Volatility shares 2x Bitcoin strategy ETF is BITX is scheduled to launch on the Chicago Board Operations BZX exchange next Tuesday, June 27th. This corresponds to 2x the return of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange Bitcoin Futures Daily Roll Index. So the CME that we look at every day, that is what it's kind of reflecting. So, meanwhile, others have said that BitTo, the US's first Bitcoin futures ETF, has underperformed Bitcoin. So they're saying these futures ETFs aren't really that good because the current one has been an underperformer. However, it's likely that people buying in the stock markets for ETFs just don't want it and they'd rather have the crypto. So total market cap is trying to get a little bit of a jump here. So we are pushing on our altcoins. That is good for us. This is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Stochastic is getting close to rounding out though. Our RSI is continuing to set higher highs. Money flow is trying to continue up. Our momentum's trying to continue up. Our VWAP's still curling down, which could bring the momentum down as well. Over on Bitcoin, we are nearly at the full break of our symmetrical triangle. So we have gone pretty close to the top of it. Our stochastic is getting pretty, just doesn't know where it wants to go. Really has no more room to go up. Not going to fall until we get bearish momentum with the money flow and the VWAP and the momentum. Our RSI is continuing up and it's pretty much overbought as it can be. Don't know if it's really gone much higher than this for much longer. Back here we kind of were high, about 78. And we fell shortly after, so we're at about 88. Our money flow is coming up, VWAP is coming down, momentum is kind of curling out, so we do have some signals that we could go bearish, so I keep an eye on that, especially since we've almost made our full move. For Bitcoin futures, we're pretty close, about halfway to our next point where we have for our futures gaps. We could see that gap fill on Friday possibly, which would be tomorrow. And then we could see a drop down below that. So I'd just watch out after this gap does fill. I'd suggest taking profits, but that would just be my strategy, not financial advice. Stochastic is looking like it's about to curl down. RSI is trying to head up. Momentum's trying to come up. VWAP is coming down though, and our money flow is starting to inch its way down away from that neutral line. So we have some signals saying we're going bullish, but more signals saying we could get a pullback. If we do get more green candles, we could easily blow through this zone as we have no volume here. We have a little bit from right here, but that's about it. Well, that's mainly because of the gap. So if we do get some green candles, break above this 31.6, kind of where we got rejected from, then we could easily break just really quickly to this range. So over on Bitcoin, for the daily, we are pushing against our resistance. So we have this resistance, we're trying to confirm above it. If we do confirm above that, that would be good for us. We are pushing pretty high on our volume profile, making new candles here. So we do have a pretty hard resistance in this 30.7 area, 30.8 almost. So that we do have a pretty strong resistance just above this support level, resistance level that we are trying to hold. So we could get rejected by that as well. So I keep an eye on that. Overall, on the daily, we are in an up channel. So up channels are a bearish pattern. So we have gotten 2 touches. This would be 1 touch, 2 touches here possibly. You consider 1 here, so we've gotten a couple hits here. Once you get a few more touches, it's likely to break. So we could get a touch here, roll back, fill this gap, and then we could see a pretty strong move down. That would be one possibility. We'll have to kind of see if that does happen. Our stochastic looks like it could curl over. RSI is trying to push higher. Momentum looks like it's starting to curl out. VWAP is starting to come down. Our money flow is still really not going very far, so our money flow is struggling to get a solid momentum behind it. even though we're getting this pump. Over on the 4 hour, our money flow looks like it's starting to curl out, so that's not too good for money flow. Stochastic has a bearish cross after just making a bullish cross and trying to go for it. Momentum looks like it could round off and get a red dot here. RSI is coming down. We have a red dot that did bring us down a bit on RSI, so that is causing us to test the support. So if we break through in the next couple, like 2 or 3 candles, then it is possible we could come down lower. Over on the 2 hour, we have bearish divergence on our momentum highlighting. Stochastic has a bearish cross and is falling hard. RSI is falling pretty quickly. VWAP is falling out. Our money flow is trying to hold its ground right around this 21 zone. So our money flow on the 2 hour is looking a little better than the 4 hour. Over on the 1 hour, our momentum is getting a higher high, so we don't really have a bearish divergence here. Our momentum is coming down though. Stochastic is coming down, RSI is coming down, our VWAP is coming down, making lower lows, and our money flow is coming down on the 1 hour. So even though the 2 hour looks a little more favorable, the 1 hour doesn't look quite as favorable. Quick peek at the 30 minute, we did break bearish, but we didn't hold bearish. And we did a couple retests, so just watch out if we break and hold bearish, like I said yesterday. Over on graph, we do have another touch to this point, so if you didn't get out yesterday and you saw your chance today, hope you got out. I'm going to delete this candle and delete the bottom. We're going to leave this channel here though, because that is a local support area from that pattern. So we could make a bounce off of it. We could make a volume profile, fixed range volume profile. So go from this area to this area, and we'll zoom back in. So we did make a pretty decent bounce off a value area low. If you drew your own volume profile and you saw that, I'm very good for you. That's a good move. So make sure you're doing these, even if you don't see them on my chart. Make sure that you follow what I'm showing and do it for yourself. That way you're understanding it. Our stochastic is kind of starting to roll. RSI is trying to push higher. VWAP starting to roll off. Money flow is trying to come up. Momentum looks like it's starting to curl out, so that momentum and VWAP are starting to curl. Stochastic could break bearish, so we look like we may give up some gains here. Over on the 4 hour, our RSI is getting lower highs. Stochastic's getting lower highs. Looks like we could get bearish cross. Momentum's getting lower highs and could curl over. VWAP is heading bearish, and our money flow is struggling to get above this 15 zone. So we could make some sort of a double top and see a little bit of a fall from here. So I'd watch for a retest of the support. Over on the 2 hour, we have bearish cross on our stochastic, bearish divergence. RSI is curling over, momentum's curling over, we have a red dot. Money flow is trying to bounce back up. Our VWAP is about to test that neutral zone and trying to go bearish. So keep an eye on if that maintains bearish momentum, because if it makes a bounce, our momentum could roll up as well. So I'd keep an eye on that. Oops, sorry, forgot the 1 hour. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic's overall looking pretty decent as far as having higher highs or lower highs. Stochastic's starting to fall. RSI's starting to go flat. Momentum's coming down with a red dot that is pushing us pushed us lower, and now we're kind of flattening. We could make a little bit of a bear flag here within this, so we could see a bearish pattern form and fall. Money flow is coming out slightly ever since we were. Odd that the lowest point has the most money flow, but we are starting to see lower money flow and money come out. VWAP is heading down in the bearish territory, so we do have some bearish signals, so I'd keep an eye on the next few candles. Kind of see if we make any bounces off any supports. So over on Anchor, we kind of got rejected by our value area low here, so that's not too good for us. Hopefully we can continue bullish momentum and get through that and turn it into support. Our stochastic is starting to curl. RSI looks like it wants to make a run up. Our VWAP is trying to head up, but starting to round out, so keep an eye on that. Our momentum wants to push forward, but if our VWAP starts around, like I said, that could bring our momentum down. Money flow is trying to go bullish, so we are trying to come up. So we'll have to see if we can get into that neutral zone and cross through with some conviction. If not, then we could see some further downside. Over on the 4-hour, our momentum's getting lower highs and our RSI is coming down. Our stochastic's about to make a bearish cross, so watch out for that, as that could help bring our RSI lower. Our money flow is starting to come out. Our VWAP is about to test neutral. So overall, I'd say we're more bearish leaning than bullish here, with everything starting to come down. Over on the 2-hour, our stochastic looks like it could start to curl up. We have a bearish divergence on momentum. RSI is coming down. Money flow is trying to make higher highs and continue upwards trajectory. So we are looking a little hopeful on the 2-hour. VWAP is breaking into bearish territory, but it's not very strong right now, so we could see that curl back up if we do get some more money flow in. On the 1-hour, momentum is coming down, RSI is coming down, overall making lower highs, stochastic is coming down. Our money flow is kind of rounding out overall. If you kind of zoom out, you can see a little better. Our VWAP is making lower lows, so the 1-hour is looking a little worse than the 2-hour, kind of like graph, so that could bring us lower. Over on XRP, we do have this up channel that we kind of broke away from, so even though we're a little bit bullish today, we could end up bearish. So just watch out for the next few candles and keep that in mind. Our RSI is going pretty flat, stochastic is heading up, VWAP is trying to head back down. Money flow is pretty flat, struggling to get above this 14 range. Our momentum looks like it wants to make a sharp curl down, so we could see a red dot form soon, so just watch out. Over on the 4-hour, we have a lot of manipulation X's that want to bring us down. RSI is starting to bend. Stochastic wants to make a bullish cross, but it looks like it could curl over. Our money flow is about to break through this neutral, so if it does break through and start going lower, then we could see further downside. Momentum wants to come up, but with everything else coming down, like the VWAP being really weak, we could see that get pushed. Over on the 2-hour, our stochastic has a bearish cross. RSI is trying to go up, but overall getting lower highs. Money flow is starting to come out. VWAP is testing that neutral. Momentum's getting a red dot and could reject away from this neutral zone. So everything's looking like we could get a bit of a pullback. We did get a green dot that wanted to signal bullish momentum, but we're not really going anywhere. Over on the 1-hour, our stochastic is falling. RSI is getting lower highs and starting to fall. Momentum is coming down with a red dot that is kind of trying to bring us down, but again, we're going flat from. VWAP is trying to head back up, so if our VWAP can reclaim bullish momentum with conviction, our momentum might come back up and our money flow could bounce off this neutral line pretty decently, and that would set us up for some further bullish action. However, be mindful that we have this ascending channel, just like Bitcoin's in, that we did touch a few times in, and we are starting to break away from. Over on the daily, we are getting a pretty decent push here on Algo. A lot of people in Algo Reddit are celebrating, so good for you guys. Our stochastic is starting to fall, RSI is running up, VWAP is running up, making higher highs. Money flow's heading up, trying to come up, so we're looking a little more hopeful, a little more in line with everything else now. Our momentum is coming up, but if that VWAP starts to flatten out, that momentum could start to fall. So just watch out if we start to set some support in this range. Our stochastic is trying to make higher highs on the 4-hour. RSI is starting to curl out. Momentum looks like we could start to fall. Our money flow is trying to get higher highs here. We're struggling to break through this 24 range though, so watch out if we start to curl. Our VWAP is starting to curl, so if our momentum gets a red dot, this VWAP continues down, we could see the money flow start to come out. Over on the 2-hour, we have bearish cross on our stochastic, and we could see some further downside to come. RSI has a red dot, momentum is curling down. RSI is pointing down, overall curling. Our money flow is getting overall higher highs and pushing pretty decently, but our VWAP is about to break this neutral and could fall into the bearish territory, so I'd keep an eye on it. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic is getting a little bit of a split, and we could see a volatile break down as we had a bearish divergence. Momentum is coming down with a red X that printed a little while ago, and our RSI is starting to bend. Our money flow is struggling to get past this 27 range, and it's starting to kind of curl away from it. We are trying to test this 20 range, so if we make a bounce off this 20, this money flow area could become somewhat of a support if we try to inch our way up. Our VWAP is trying to reject away from the neutral line though, so just keep an eye on that, as that could help push our momentum down, and our money flow could continue that drop. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.